hot.
All right, here we go. Week number 3, Sportsbook Live, Mohegan Sun and Shander. Made it to week number 3. Crowd is pumped here tonight at Mohegan Sun. If you had over 2.5, Eitan, you cash on the amount of weeks this show stayed on the air, which is pretty surprising.
What were the odds on that? The juice?
You were getting plus 120 on it, making it to week number 3. So okay. We'll see. Make it to week number 4. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Not bad. Not bad. I'm thrilled to be here, as always, with you, Mutt. And it was a fantastic week of football where I am now 1-5 on this show.
Ooh.
And the best part of here's the best part about it. Yeah. Even if I didn't know my record, I'm reminded every day. So there's no place to go. Like I may hit you with some ridiculous shit just to continue this 1-5 stretch. Who knows? I may be 1-8 by next week.
Well, listen, when I've been lucky. I've had a good start here to the year. The sides have been terrible. I'm going to explain why my side's been bad. I have an excuse for you and me and everybody else in a second. But when I do go 0-3, I will wear the Scarlet L, and you'll find out what that means. I'll go 0-3 at some point. That is going to happen. That's a small sample size of sports betting in the NFL. I will go 0-3, and I will wear it on this show for at least a portion of the show. I'm not the entire show, but I will wear the Scarlet L, Eitan. Yeah. I'm promising, and I'm giving you credit. You didn't know your record.
I have no idea, even if I am 1-5. Like, I don't even know my record. You are the one who's supposed to keep the records on here. Where is that? I'm just giving you the graphics.
I sent you the records
today.
I'm
department.
Bombers 2-1. I'm 4-2, and I said Eitan ? I will keep your record from now on. So you're saying you're not 1-5.
I don't know. Everything that I bet is on Pickett, and apparently the stuff that I'm giving out here on Thursday, I'm not even betting. So who the hell knows at this point?
You listen. I will say a thank you off the top here. We have a special guest who's going to join us here in a couple of minutes. I want to thank you. You were a huge help to me with some stuff off the air, and I appreciate all the help last couple of days with Odd Shopper and your company. So thank you for that. And congratulations. Did I see Odd Shopper push past 143,000 subscribers on YouTube?
This is a big thing. Not bad, man. People are coming for picks. That's it. We found a place where people are just show me the picks. Show me your picks. That's what Odd Shopper, the YouTube side is all about. We do some other stuff on site and all that. But yeah, man, this thing is massive. It's been growing. And it's cool because like anything you have been a part of or anybody out there has been a part of from day one, to see something grow like that, it's just massive. So
I want to know, and I give you credit for that, but I think you
don't give me credit. I didn't have anything to do with it.
I would like you to thank this audience. We have a lot of views on our 2 shows so far, and I think a lot of that audience, thank you. The crowd's here getting pumped. I think you need to thank our audience, Sportsbook Live audience, because they have helped get that number up the last couple of weeks.
Okay, absolutely. But here's the thing. I wish you wouldn't have positioned it like that, because they already hate me, and now they're thinking that you're twisting my arm behind my back to give them credit. Look, the reality is that I love it. I absolutely love the fact that you, Mike Mutnansky, and as an extension, the people that you've brought, and if it's through Barstool or anywhere else, your own EEI, wherever, Naira, whatever it may be, the fact that people are here, and I've always said, look, doing radio forever, it's just the fact that you're here. If you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. If you don't like how I look, that's fine. If you don't like what Mutt says, even better. If you don't like how Mutt looks, even better. But no, we're grateful, because you're right. Ultimately, this is about people showing up, even if it's to hate watch or love watch or just see what this thing is all about. I absolutely am grateful to your communities, because there are multiple communities who are here. And look, let's be honest. All right. There are people that have large amounts of followings who have talked about this show, right?
Yep.
Let's recognize David Portnoy for that. Let's recognize Kirk Minihane for that. Let's recognize people for just talking about this show. And what I've noticed is that as much as people love to bust my balls and get on me about stuff, my goodness, Mutt, you are a magnet for it. So I feel even better.
I'm a dead ticket machine. I give out losers left and right. My pass, I have a checkered pass. They bring up photos of me, very famous photos all the time. I'm going to be divorced. I'm going to be poor. I'm a terrible father. I get it every day. It's part of the gig. And I just want to make sure before we start the show that we're okay. We haven't talked today. You went a little nuts on Twitter yesterday. Are we
No,
good?
no.
Are we in a good space? You said I'll
Twitter
call you in
doesn't
10
matter
minutes.
to me. That's
I'll
why
call you
I
in 10
push
minutes.
back. If it
You
mattered,
call
I
me.
wouldn't say anything.
Okay, so we're good. We're in a good space.
Of course.
Okay, good.
Look, I'll show you my calendar today. Today was the worst day that I've had as far as like calls after call. I had a call, Mutt. I had a call at 11:30 to plan a call at 3 o'clock.
All right, let's do real quick. We have a lot to get to. We have a special guest going to join. We're taking an early break here. Give me an early break.
Right now?
Break. A special guest in 30 seconds will join us. 30 seconds.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.
Look at this.
All right, we have a special guest joining us here. Special guest.
What's up, man?
Rob Gronkowski
Hello,
joining
hello.
us here. Rob, what's going on? Let's turn this way. You're not special watch, but that's your microphone right there. Surprise guest. The crowd going nuts for Gronk here.
I've always been special.
Talking that microphone right there. You're here with the great folks at FanDuel. That's the camera right there. We're talking to a lot of people on YouTube right now. First and foremost, I hate to start with a sore subject, but are you going to ever hit this kick of destiny? Dude, this is embarrassing. 0 for 2. My kids are mocking you around the Super Bowl. Like, are you doing it again, and will you ever kick this thing?
It wasn't too embarrassing. I mean, it would have been embarrassing if I kicked the ball like how I first started when I was kicking. I was literally, my first time I practiced for the first kick, my first session, I was kicking the ball literally like 15 yards to the right, 15 yards to the left. I was getting close. And I finally made my first kick like during my third practice session because I never did that soccer style kick in my life. In high school, I toe kicked and I actually made a 28-yard field goal when I was a sophomore in high school. But and when I did miss those, the first time I missed, it was because of Mother Nature when we were in Arizona. We were in the mountains. There was 50-mile-per-hour wind. It was going directly down the middle. And then everyone got confused because on the TV copy, it looked like it went in, but it went like a tad wide left. And then the second try, my redemption try in Vegas, unfortunately, I accidentally kind of shifted my body and I aimed a little bit to the right. I booted the ball. It would have been like at least a 50-yarder. If I hit it straight on, if I hit it straight on, and I missed wide right. But I'm from Buffalo. We're used to missing kicks wide left and wide right. So what can I say?
Gronk's joining us here, Sportsbook Live Mohegan Sun with our friends from FanDuel for a great game tonight. Patriots and Jets, 6.5 points. You put a bet together. Give me your thoughts on this game tonight. I'm sure you're picking the Patriots, but why can the Patriots win this game and pull an upset after starting the year 1-1?
I'm definitely picking the Patriots to win this game. I mean, it's the Jets. We've had the Jets number. We actually have their whole organization's name under control since 12 years ago. I don't know the last time the Patriots lost to the Jets. Can we pull up that?
Been a while.
Please. It's been a while. So
first time in 26 games they're favored against the Patriots.
Yes. I understand. I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots are in a rebuilding, year, but they're doing an excellent job rebuilding. I mean, they're rebuilding. Supposed to be rebuilding this year, and they're already winning games and competing. But what I really love about the Patriots is how well they're still coached. I mean, Gerard Mayo, he's in the Belichick tree of coaching. So you knew when Gerard Mayo took over, it was going to be a well-coached team still. He's only been around well-coached teams his whole career playing and also coaching under Coach Belichick. And Gerard Mayo has these guys not making any mistakes. I don't think the quality of players, on the offensive side of the ball are there. They got good players, but they need like one or two great players on the offensive side of the ball if they want to go to the next level. So the Patriots have to kind of play like mistake-free football in order to win, like they did versus Cincinnati.
No margin for error.
Yes, no margin for error because they don't have that guy to, whip it down the field and gain 50 yards in one play. And hopefully, they got some salary cap room. So hopefully they do bring in the guy. Hopefully they bring in a big-time offensive lineman eventually too, and then I feel like the Patriots will be there right in the mix with everyone else.
Patriots fans hate the Jets. I see a bunch of Pats fans here. Did Patriots players hate the Jets with fans?
Yes, we do. Definitely, especially with Coach Belichick, how he went there, for like 30 seconds, and then he became to
HC of the NYJ. Thanks.
And then he came right back and like signed with the Patriots right after in the same division. So That rival has definitely been there since I was a rookie. It was even there before I even started. I mean, it was just engraved in us, like, not to like the Jets. I mean, now that I'm done playing, you don't dislike them as much.
You kind of still hate them,
but
though.
you just kind of still, because it's just
Okay.
fun to be part of that rivalry still, and just have that feeling, like, that gut feeling of hatred versus another team. It kind of brings you back to the days. But I think the Patriots are going to take them down. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers just makes a couple mistakes in the passing game, because once he makes a mistake, Christian Gonzalez will be right there to intercept it. And then that's how we're going to have to win. We're going to have more turnovers. We're going to have to make the Jets turn over the ball, and in the Patriots on the offensive side of the ball take care of the football, and that's how we will win the game.
Gronk, let's talk about your former teammate, Tom Brady. He's now your current teammate on Fox. He's had 2 games now. He was a great quarterback. Is he a great announcer on Fox?
Tom is on his way to be a great announcer, and I'm proud of him. The steps he made, because of the steps he made, and I'm happy for him, because the steps he made from week 1 to week 2 showed that he puts the work in, and shows that he cares, and shows how dedicated he is. I feel like, there were some times in week 1, yes, all that hype. He was kind of like the number 1 pick overall, and he showed some promise. He made some plays week 1, and then all of a sudden he got his feet wet. Then in week 2, he just turned it around and showed that he was like a veteran quarterback in all of a span of 7 days. So just proud of him and the work that he puts in, and he's only going to continue to get better week in and week out. And what was so cool is I was on the pregame show last week for Fox, and he had a zoom in or whatever, be on the sidelines up in the booth, and I don't know what's it called when he doesn't zoom in, but he zoomed into our show. Like,
it's probably Zoom. Yeah, he jumps on Zoom.
Zoom or whatever it's called. He was broadcasting on our show, and I got to ask him questions on the pregame show last week, which was just really cool. And now we're teammates again, and I just love the situation that we're both in, and he's making me proud with the work he's doing.
So the text you're sending are positive, not busting his balls. Say, what do we do? It's got some of that.
Once in a while, we bust each other's balls. We keep each other on our toes, but that's what it's all about. That's what a locker room is all about. That's what teammates are all about. But just overall, we're also trying to make each other better, just like we did when we were teammates on the field as well.
Yep, you did it here. You did it in Tampa Bay. And tight ends across the NFL, you pick one right now to say this is the best tight end right now. You were the best when you played. They the best of all time. Who's the best guy playing that position today?
Oh, my gosh, it's a rookie. It was a rookie that was drafted in the top 15 this year, and it's Brock Bowers.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm very surprised with Brock Bowers. I mean, I knew he was going to be a good player. He's a winner. He won 2 national championships in Georgia. He was the heart of the team on the offensive side of the ball, making plays. But just the way he looked the first 2 weeks of his rookie year, first 2 games, is incredible, man. Everyone thought it was too high of a reach for the Raiders as well when they took him. But I'm telling you this, he's going to pan out, and the way he looks is just incredible. He put some size on as well. I remember meeting him last year in Vegas at the Super Bowl. He looked pretty small. It looked like he put on about 15, 20 pounds of muscle as well. And he's running over guys. It's taken, 4 Raiders in the second, not 4 Raiders, 4 Baltimore Ravens last week in the secondary to take him down. He has 15 catches, about 158 yards. I don't think he has a touchdown yet, but 15 catches in his first 2 games as a tight end. Most everybody tight end. I'm just happy for him, and I'm just excited to keep watching him grow.
It was exciting to watch you when you got drafted, put the helmet on by the Patriots, your college helmet, you obviously college career. There's NIL money in college now. What would Gronk Inc. have done with all this NIL money? They are paying players millions to play college football. What would you have done?
I'm glad there was no NIL money at the time. I think I wouldn't have even made it to the NFL then. But man, what would I have done? I was working hard for some money to make some couple extra bucks. I remember I was selling some protein. I would take extra protein from the team, from the kitchen, because there was like 20 jugs of muscle milk.
Unlimited for you guys. You would take.
Yeah, basically, I would take one home and I would sell it to a couple frat guys for like $20. I just needed an extra $1 or $2 just to live, just to get through when I was in college. But NIL money, I mean, I could have been like an average player. It wasn't like I was a big name like a lot of these other guys coming out of college. And I'm so glad I wasn't, because college is an experience where you just want to be under the radar as well. You want to be successful on the football field. But it was cool that it wasn't like a Tebow or a Manziel or a Cam Newton coming out of college, because there's so many eyes on them. And you can't really enjoy college when you're under that, type of a microscope. I was enjoying college. I lived it up to the max, like I was a normal student while playing on the football field. So my experience was amazing. And I just wish everyone can, just feel that type of experience, which you do if you go to the University of Arizona, because it's the greatest school out there. But NIL money, I don't know what I would have done. I would have made a couple bucks, but I don't know what would have happened if I was making some big bucks in college.
All right, one of your former teammates now in the booth, your former coach. I mean, Bill is everywhere. Bill's doing 7 media appearances, Bill Belichick, every week. Do you think that Bill Belichick eventually ends up back on the sideline?
I think he does end up back on the sideline next year. He loves the game of football. He loves coaching the game of football. It's just in his blood. It's cool to see him take a year off as well and kind of show his personality, kind of show a different side of him. Everyone's loving Coach Belichick right now, especially at the roast of Tom Brady. He just brought the heat there, and he's bringing the heat every week as well. And it's just incredible just to hear his knowledge, just for him to be able to share his knowledge of the game, because he knows the game inside and out, defense side of the ball, offense side of the ball, and especially special teams as well. He loves all 3 phases. He knows in depth all 3 phases as well. So it's great to see him, just sharing that knowledge to the fans of football and on so many stations as well. I'm surprised just how many stations he's doing.
A little too much, Bill.
Yeah, like 2 stations, Bill. Like I'm doing FanDuel. I go on the Kay Adams show.
Yeah.
Every week on Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then I do the Fox pregame show. I have 9 appearances this year, so me and Jimmy Johnson switch every other week.
Nice.
And then I got all 4 playoff games, including the Super Bowl this year. So that's plenty. So I'm on 2 stations, and on top of it, on your podcast. So this is an honor to be here, my man.
It's the Mohegan Sun podcast.
Yes.
2 more will get you out. Were you surprised by just how open the roast was? Like Brady got shelled, your coach got shelled for his current personal situations.
Yeah.
Like it was. I loved it. Were you surprised it was that over the top?
No, I wasn't that surprised. I knew that we were going to be bringing the heat, and plus throughout my rehearsals and hanging out with the writers and all, coming up with jokes, I knew that nothing was off limits. There was one thing that was off limits, which was Tom Kids. That's what I was told. Anything else was on limits.
Sure.
I've seen a couple previous roasts, and I've seen Jeff Ross roast some other people as well. Let me tell you, I knew I had to be bringing the heat, and I knew nothing was going to be off limits. So it was one of the best nights of my life, and I had like an out-of-body experience when I was up there. I swear, like I was floating by the time I was done, which is how you want it to be.
You guys were all House of Wine and drinks up there.
Me, Kevin Hart, and Julian Edelman. I guess Kevin Hart has like a tequila brand or something. He had a bottle underneath my table, and we literally finished the whole entire bottle before I even went. So Julian and I and Kevin Hart, they're tiny, so I had to drink the majority of the bottle because they were hammered after like a sip. But we finished the whole entire tequila bottle between us 3, and I was feeling good when I went up there. Everything kicked in, which was great.
It did look like that watching it on TV. So you're here at Mohegan Sun. You're here with FanDuel. We're in the sportsbook right now. There's a Gronk same game parlay up there. Patriots plus the points. Garrett Wilson receiving yards. Stevenson for a touchdown. We're here to bet sports and pick sports. But when this thing is over and you're in the casino, what's the game that Gronk is playing? What is the casino game where you go play?
I'm a blackjack guy. No doubt about it. If I'm really feeling good and I have a group around me, we like to do craps as well. If I'm,
I know how to play craps.
Craps is great. I didn't really know how to play at first, and then once you understand it, and it's kind of like a game where you like your money to not be, taken away from you so fast. And blackjack, you can lose 5 hands.
Isn't that every game though? You don't want your money taken away from you. So I'm trying not to lose my money in the casino.
Blackjack, you can do. If you're going heads up 1-on-1, you can literally play 5 hands in a matter of under a minute, and then go on tilt and lose all 5 hands, and boom, all your money's gone.
Been there.
At least craps, like you got to roll the dice, you got to see what it lands on. They got to pay you out. It's like every minute or 2 there's a throw, so it's kind of more spread out. So it's fun, and it takes up more time. And if you got time to waste as well, it's a great game. I love it.
I appreciate taking a few minutes. You got some people to see here. So Patriots, you got Patriots tonight. Outright or plus the points?
I'm gonna go. Well,
it's plus the points in the same game
I
parlay.
think they're gonna win outright.
Okay.
So I would just take them. Go big. Just take them outright too. Don't even take the points. Just take them outright. Yeah, you'll win big. You'll win probably, 1.5.
Money line's like plus 2 something right now. Yeah.
If you just take them straight outright. So Patriots outright. They're gonna make no mistakes. They're gonna play another perfect game like they did versus Cincinnati Bengals. This is Thursday night football. They're gonna be ready. Gerard Mayo's first Thursday night game. They're well coached. That's what I love about it. They are well coached. We just need some players on the offensive side of the ball to make some plays in the red zone and score. Hopefully we see that happen 1 or 2 times tonight.
The greatest tight end in football history, Rob Gronkowski, everybody. Give him a hand. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me here at Mohegan Sun. I've been here plenty of times throughout my career. This is where we celebrated a lot of championships, the club, the bars, after parties in the room, extra room service, waking up, and room service is still all on our face, ketchup everywhere. So just thank you for the great memories here, Mohegan Sun. Much love, and we'll always have a great relationship.
We'll make some more tonight. Rob Gronkowski joining us. Gronk, thanks,
Awesome.
man. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Rob Gronkowski joining us here as part of Sportsbook Live at Mohegan Sun. We'll keep going here, Gronk. You go talk to the people. We'll bring Eitan back in here as he stepped out to let that go back and forth. So immediately you get to play critic. You get to analyze the interview. Was it good? Was it bad? Were the questions shitty? Let's get that. You've done this a million times. Full reaction. I want the truth.
Do you want to break and then come back, or do you want to just talk?
Let's talk till 6:30. We're good. We already took our break.
The honest truth is I didn't hear a word of it.
You didn't?
I thought I'd get something better from you from that.
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
It was fine. I thought, look, I'm not going to kill you, right? Like, I guarantee you there are 3 people that work for Kirk right now that have already broken down that video down to like a sweat bead coming down your temple, right?
I tried the camera. I felt bad. Looking over, God, the screenshot, his head was in the Sportsbook Live logo forever. Bad job by me. I got to get back.
Let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about the bad. You were not the radio. So you were not the radio host that I thought you would fix the mic right away. All right. So that's fine. The bad job by you. I can't kill you on the camera, even though I'm not there and I couldn't help you. And it was painful because I don't want to jump in the middle of the interview, nor did I want to text you because knowing you, your phone's probably like dinging right now and not on vibrate. No. But once you move the camera back and we actually got to see more than just Gronk's jawline, I think it played out a lot better. I know that you didn't have full control of everything that you asked, but I thought that you moved pretty efficiently through that and didn't just keep it like this wasn't a politician sitting down, getting everything known and read to them ahead of time. I thought you had a little liberty and you moved around a little bit. The one thing that I don't know that may help with some context on this interview, how well do you know Gronk? How many times have you interviewed him?
0 points. He would not know me from a hole. He would not know me. Okay. No.
Yeah, I thought there was an initial just get everything settled. And once you guys got through it, I was waiting for the have you had a Shannon Sharp moment. I was waiting for, something along those lines.
Good one. See, that's why you got to text me. Text me. That's a great.
I have to do your job. That's what you're telling me?
It's also your job. It's your show, too. It's not just my show.
Your name's on the marquee.
So is yours.
Well,
right there.
Last name.
And Sportsbook is spelled right, so we're going the right direction today.
We are.
All right, so he gave you his parlay. And I do think, just a quick Gronk follow-up, he is the best tight end of all time. Like, I get this Kelsey thing. He's a great receiver. Gronk blocked. Gronk was physical. When he was healthy, he was flipping unstoppable. And so I don't want to hear about Antonio Gates. I don't want to hear about Travis Kelce.
What do you mean when he was
Tony Gonzalez? He had a bunch of injuries. He was hurt during his career. Hurt his back.
Well, that hurts your case.
He played physical. He played a physical brand of football. It's like Gonzalez out there, like a receiver. Or Kelce. He's not blocking anybody. This guy
blocked. He still around right now?
No, he's talking to VIPs.
But could he hear us?
No, different side of the room. At this point.
Okay.
I'm not saying that to get his approval. I'm saying it to you.
No. I meant
Eagles fan like, Dallas Goddard said Dallas Goddard's good. Let's get him in.
Yeah, right. Like Dallas. Trust me, you're not going to hear me say Dallas Goddard is a top 5 anything except candidate to be on a milk carton at this point.
All right. We thank Gronk for joining us. He is picking the Patriots plus the points tonight. You're 1-5 on the year. What are you laughing at? We'll get that in a second. The public betting, I was going to give us an excuse to start the show before Gronk joined us earlier than scheduled. The public betting through 2 weeks has been atrocious. The bets that have 51% or more of the tickets, quote unquote, public tickets, betting on the NFL, 11, 20, and 1 against the spread, a $100 better, is down $989, the second worst start for the public through 2 weeks since 2003. So, little excuse for me. I'm 0-2 on sides. You're struggling out of the gate. A lot of people are struggling. It has been a weird couple weeks. Bomber Brad will join us from Mohegan Sun Sportsbook here in a couple of minutes. We'll get his take on the first 2 weeks of the season. But I am not inclined tonight to take the points in the New England Patriots. I will let you go first. Your Eagles had a choke job, epic proportions. They're on Monday against the Falcons. They'll try to turn the Patriots safe. We'll get to that pick later on the show. Let's focus in on Thursday Night Football. 6.5, 38.5 the total. Last time we looked at FanDuel. How are you betting this game side and total? What's your favorite lean in terms of those two? What are you involved in? We'll save props for the end of the show.
Yeah, I think the Patriots have become the Game of Thrones of the NFL. During the show's run, everybody was talking about it. People were putting this show up with The Wire, Oz, The Sopranos, talking about it because they were captured in the moment. Like, this was the greatest thing that ever happened. And then what happened on the finale? Let everybody down. Everybody was pissed off about it, right? And it just vanished. Like, you had a day or two of people complaining, but a week went by, 2 weeks went by, and the show just vanished from discussion. It wasn't even like Lost or the ending of The Sopranos that had people kind of like going back and forth. It just died. There's just no more interest. During the Brady run, during even the Belichick demise, you had this must watch. I don't care where you were around the country. You had to sit down, mostly because it was hate watch. Trust me, I know a thing about that. Sit down and watch these guys for whatever reason. You want them to win or lose, but that was it. It was polar. There's nothing polar right now about this team. They're boring. I love Ramondre Stevenson. I think he could do some work tonight. They're not a good football team. They're boring. They've got new blood, a quarterback who's not even out there, a coach who I think we like from at least the distance, but who the hell knows? They went from having two of the most compelling individuals across the entire landscape, maybe even in the history of professional sports, Mutt, to now being an afterthought. And I don't want to watch them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I can't be alone with this. I think the Jets look at this as an opportunity to turn around and say, this is a team that kicked our ass up and down the block. Even if we have a small little opening here, we should pound the crap out of them. I like the Jets on the side a lot in this game. I'm not going to touch the total, but I'm going to play the Jets tonight.
Yeah, and I will tell you, this is a bad spot for the Patriots. Unfortunately, you and I agree. It is an awful team to watch. I've heard some spin here in New England that like they fought the first couple of weeks and they haven't vomited on themselves, and that's not what you're looking for. They are a bad offense to watch. They have, I think, Jacoby Brissett, of any quarterback who started 2 games, 3rd fewest passing yards in the NFL. They cannot throw the football. And so we're just sort of sitting here waiting. For me as a Patriots fan, we are waiting for Drake May. The offensive line is terrible. There are 2 starters out tonight. They've given up a 45% pressure rate so far. They're going to get Brissett killed in this game tonight. Maybe tonight's a Drake May night because the Jets are going to be all over Brissett. But not only are they boring, they're in a bad spot. Teams off an overtime game, playing in less than 7 days against a team who's not playing an overtime game, cover at just 44% of the time. They win at about the same rate. Last 20 years, teams playing overtime and then playing 3 days later against team didn't play overtime. Okay. 6 and 18 straight up, 3-21 against the spread. So they're a bad offense. They're banged up big time on the offensive line. They're on a short week, which historically has been atrocious in this type of layoff. Like I've heard 98.5 the Sports Stuff was talking about this today. EEI in Boston. Like it was more about like the Jets sucking than it was the Patriots. I can't go there. As a gambler, I am not touching the Patriots plus 6.5. And I understand, like, I get the thesis, low scoring game, divisional game, short week, supposed to take the points. I can't do it because they fall behind this game. They are at no shot to come back and cover this number. So I am not touching them. I would play the Jets way before I'd play the Patriots in this spot. But I'm playing the under. The under tonight, we started 39.5. We're down to 38.5. But this under here, 19-7. These Thursday night unders and the total is under 40 points. It's going to be a low-scoring game. It's 2 of the slowest offenses in the NFL. Like, it's typical ugly Thursday night game. I can't get behind the dog. I can get behind the under. How will the Patriots score points tonight? Run the ball.
What would shock you more, though? Let me ask you this. What would shock you more, 49 total points or a Patriots cover?
49 total points.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me there's a backdoor cover here and the final score is like...
Or the over. or the over?
I think the over would be way more shocking to me. Much more shocking. I
the Patriots covering?
Yeah, it's 6.5 points. You can get backdoor that way, but they can't score. They can't get it to their wide receivers. Gronk just said it. They have no elite talent whatsoever to throw.
And you don't think the Jets could get you 30, 33 points tonight? Patriots backdoor in there on
I don't think they want to. I think
14.
It's a short week for them too. They want to run the football and give it to Hall and their rookie running back.
That's what everybody says. And then it's the NFL and it's Thursday night and all of a sudden people go crazy. This whole game is the witching hour.
I can't see.
Can you move that mic out of the shot? The other mic. Jeez.
Again, I'm hiring an intern. Would you like to intern here for free? Get to me on Twitter. I will take free interns.
Free's more than I make, so I'm in.
All right. Let's do this.
Is Bomber around?
Is Bomber around? Let's get Bomber. Bomber Brad he's trying to do two things at once. He's trying to talk to the people. He is trying to also get his butt over here to join us because we talked about the sports books or the public doing very poorly first 2 weeks of the NFL. You know who did well? Bomber Brad, because the sports books are cleaning up. We'll get Bomber's take on this game, the NFL, and his advice for the people in 30 seconds. Keep it here.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, welcome back. Bomber Brad joining us here, Mohegan Sun Sportsbook Live. He was out there with VIPs. Get in here close. Get in here close. The Bomber.
Look at that.
My fan club.
Can't wear the Dallas Cowboys jersey with the VIPs, man.
Absolutely not.
Not when they got their ass kicked by the Saints. He can't wear that. Cowboys.
Well, yeah, I can't talk.
Cowboy. Tony Romo.
I can't talk.
I'm good. What's going on, Bob?
Recovering from last week.
Yeah, that was not good. That was not good. We'll get to the picks here in a second. If you are at Mohegan Sun, you're listening right now, to fix any confusion, we have a weekly and a grand prize drawing going on tonight and through November 7th. Any $10 bet you make while we're on the air tonight till about 7 o'clock qualifies you for a $100 free bet, plus a $50 free bet. We're going to pick two weekly winners here tonight. We want to announce our grand prize. And if you were here last week, your tickets are going to still be saved for next week. And if you didn't save your ticket, come let us know. We will figure it out, I promise. But anybody here, when we're on the air, makes a $10 bet on sports, they win the Bomber Brad grand prize, which is a table for four in the sports book for any NFL Sunday, mid-November through the end of the year, including the Super Bowl, food and beverage comped, and if it's available, hotel room as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Including Super Bowl, right? We said that.
Yep.
Did I say Super Bowl?
You said Super Bowl.
Yeah, including Super Bowl. But if your team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, you want to come any other time, you can come down just based on availability. And if we're able to get you a room, I'll do that as well. So want you to come down, make a bet, get entered for that, and spend some time with us.
Come down here, make a bet, and you've got to be here on the 7th of November. If you want to win the grand prize, you got to make your bet here in person and then come back on the 7th. And by the way, you can qualify more than once, right? You can qualify every week with your $10 bets all the way up to the 7th. Get yourself 6, 7, 8 chances to get a chance to win.
Qualify as much as you want. I don't care. The more $10 bets you make, the better.
I like that. So you want to talk about your Cowboys real quick? Any excuse?
No excuse. We just got our butt kicked. I mean, I don't know I think they just thought they were going to roll the ball out there and they were going to get beat. So we'll see what happens this week. Micah Parsons says that will never happen again, and you'll see a different team this week. So let's see. If they do play up to their capabilities, I think you're looking at the Ravens being 0-3, which who would have thought they'd have started 0-3?
I would not have thought that whatsoever.
I actually would have bet you that the Cowboys very easily could have started 0-3.
I would have believed that before the Ravens in this spot. We just mentioned the unbelievable against the spread record that folks have had. The public has been awful to start the week. Start the year 11-20-1 against the spread, which means you've cleaned up. Good couple of weeks for you guys here. The sports books are winning through the first 2 weeks.
It has. First couple of weeks usually doesn't work that way the first 2 weeks of the season, but it definitely has this year. I can actually say it's probably been the craziest first 2 weeks, maybe craziest 2 weeks any time of the season. But we talked about it on week one, right? What happens in week one reverses in week two, and you saw a lot of that. So I think week 3, you can get a good feel for what these teams are really made of.
Is that why you caution people to start the year to kind of wade in? I don't think, again, people took it to an extreme and said Bomber Brad saying not to bet. I think your point was we don't know much to start the year. We're seeing it with this against the spread record for the public.
If you would have bet or you did bet, you're probably thinking, I should have listened to Bomber Brad and said, I should have not bet that much, because the sports books did have very good 2 weeks, especially this last weekend. And the reason is because there were so many upsets. The public was on the opposite side of almost every game. So now you've thrown away part of your bankroll that now you've got 16, 17 weeks left to play, and you've given away some of your bankroll. So just should have waited. I know it's easier said than done, but that's what we should have done.
Yeah, there's some things now that I am curious to get your thoughts on, Bomber, as we look at week 3, because as you know, the inclination of the public, the loser, the juice driven, whatever better, is to just immediately flip, right? They've read everything on social over the last week or a couple of days. They've seen all the trends and everything that's favoring dogs. So now people are rushing to bet spreads, I would imagine, way more, because it's hard for me to think that if your day-to-day operation is laying points, taking laying juice on money lines, that all of a sudden, based off 2 weeks, you're going to go out there and take a plus 230 bet on the Patriots tonight. It's probably going to shift more on odds. And that's where I'm going to get your thoughts on this, because you can still win. Books still win with line movement, especially through a key number or two. So just because the public changes a little bit of their behavior and bets dogs on the spread, I don't think that ultimately makes up or even means that there is this change or reverse in trend.
No, absolutely not. I definitely don't subscribe to what you're saying is probably going on. I think it just boils down to people need to take a look at the teams and make an honest opinion on what you think these teams are after 2 weeks. There's a few teams that, in my opinion, are still out there that I think the jury's still out on. But I do think there's a lot of teams, whether that's the bad teams. I still stand by Carolina being the worst, the Giants being the next to last. The team that's playing tonight, the Patriots. I need another week. I need to see what they do tonight. I think they're third or fourth worst team in the league, but I want to see what happens tonight. But at the top, I mean, there's a couple of 2-0 teams I don't think will be, maybe not even make the playoffs at the end of the year.
Well, I mean, you're the Saints team you just saw. Like, everyone is buying in after a couple of weeks and all the analytics. I'm not buying in New Orleans.
No, me either. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd like to see. I think they get beat this week against Philly, but we'll see what happens. But still too early to make a rash decision on those top teams.
So one thing I was looking at for week 3, week 4, a system that a buddy of mine who's far more successful than me in this world put me onto. It's looking at dogs in weeks 3 and 4 that are giving up 17 points per game or fewer. And the idea, and look, you always have to take this as it comes, because one of those teams is the Patriots tonight. So I don't necessarily know if you want to jump on that, what have you. But you look at the Chargers, for example, that's a team that's taking, right? That's a dog right now on the road in Pittsburgh. And defensively, they've been able to keep within that range right there. So that's something that I'm looking at to try and stay true to weeks 3 and 4, as opposed to overreact to what we saw this weeks 1 and 2.
So what the public does, and even bookmakers to some extent, they make too many decisions based off what happened last week. And you can't do that, especially in the NFL, because it's so week to week. You just can't make a rash judgment on that. So that's actually really good advice. Don't overreact for what you saw last week. I think you have to take the 2 weeks as a whole to see what the teams are, and then you go from there. But definitely don't overreact for week 3, because I do think there's some teams that, I think Dallas is one of those. The Eagles didn't look that good, but I think they're going to look better this week.
I want to talk about Thursday Night Football and get your picks for the weekend. 2-1 on the year, official picks. Bomber Brad on the Mohegan Sun Sportsbook live show here. As far as your advice this week, you texted me and emailed me and said you want to talk about handicapping the handicapper. And it scared the shit out of me, because I feel like you're going to rip Aton and I for being bad handicappers and say not to listen to us. So when you say handicap the handicapper, what are you talking about?
So we all have those friends that play the games, bet the games, and they never pick a winner. Or, they have a good week, but then they lost. And so I always say sometimes the answer is right in front of our face. And I'll have a guy and I'll use, maybe one of my operations managers will come up and say, I like such and such. And my response will be handicap the handicap. Don't handicap the game, handicap the handicap. So sometimes you've got people out there that'll give you picks and they're never going to win. They never win. Don't be afraid to fade those people. There's nothing wrong with that. That's information just like anybody else, right? You want to be on a side that a guy is a good picker of the games. That's fine. What's wrong with being on a side that the guy can't pick games? You saw the movie Let It Ride? Greatest movie ever made, Let It Ride. Horses, how do you cash all his? He went around and asked everybody who they wanted to bet.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he had one horse left, and that's who he bet, and that's who won. So don't be afraid to handicap the handicapper. A little huge sense of humor, but don't laugh. It actually works.
I like that advice. Would you be taking our picks based on the first 2 weeks on the show?
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I know you can be sensitive sometimes, so I don't want to hurt your feelings.
We should just have Bomber in the pick segment, right? Like, why can't we do that? Because what we do, it's so fragmented here, Mutt. I'm blaming you on this, right?
Okay, great. Blame me.
Bomber, and then we break, and then we BS about, I don't know, flap gums about some stupid stuff that you and I just go around on. And then we come back and we give picks. We should just give our 3 play. Forget Thursday night. We could end with that. But we should give our 3 plays, and then I can flash this graphic that's going to trigger half of the audience.
I'm going to stick around and give some plays. I have some ideas on bets this weekend. We want to start with college, Bomber? I know you want to have a college game for sure, right?
I do. I actually have one each. So you want me to go ahead and take care of that?
Sure. We go right. We still
absolutely
go for it.
So in college, we're going to go with Navy plus 10. I think it's 9.5 now, maybe 9. Try to buy it up to 10 if you can. I'll take Navy at home plus 10. Memphis coming off a upset win at Florida State, a squeeze game there, so I'll take Navy. And then in the NFL, I'm going to take the Eagles. So Eagles blew that game on Monday night, never should have lost. Going to fade the Saints. I mean, they've looked too good for 2 weeks, and I just can't see them doing that 3 weeks in a row. So I'm going to take the Eagles. It's up to 3. I'll take the plus 3. I'll definitely take the money line. I actually play a little money line on both of these games. I like both of them.
Okay. Real quick, Bomber, 9.5 is what you like for Navy, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just showing. It's FanDuel is actually down to 2.5 right now. That's been bet. The fact that it was initially minus 2.5 and it flipped, I think, to plus 1.5. It was bet up to 3, and that's where I saw you just mention as you got it. Yeah. I cannot believe that it even hit that key number, but it clearly did not last long because people saw the value on the buyback, 5.5 points. Based off of an over. I mean, you want to talk about overreaction. That line moved 5.5 points before the game. That's insane. Because they lost at the end, Saquon Barkley drops a football?
And I guess I'm the only one in America that doesn't think they necessarily needed a run. I thought it was a great call.
It was a terrible call. There's no value to throw the football there. Even if you don't get it and run the ball, you've taken enough clock down to stop them from doing anything. No, you're kidding.
You lost anyway.
Okay, but would they get this a better chance to win or lose by throwing there?
You play to win.
Well, then run the football. That's how you win that game.
You play to win.
I hate running the football. It's boring, but yes, run the football in that spot.
Throw it. If you catch it, the game's over. They dropped it. Run another play. Go for it. Go for it on 4th down.
Sirianni over here. Philadelphia Eagles fans agree this week? Hey, no. John, they're Philly?
So here's the thing. I think it's easy to get caught up in the play call itself, right? Like, should have been a run, should have been a pass. I think the problem that I have, the fundamental problem I have is the inconsistencies in the first half, going for it instead of kicking when you should have gone for it. If you wanted to look at just the dichotomy that this team is dealing with, Nick Sirianni decides whether or not they should go for it on 4th down, and Kellen Moore decides what play to call. So you already have fragmentation, if you will, on the staff as far as decision-making. Ultimately, I think it was the wrong call, not in hindsight, because the Eagles spent the last 2 years establishing what they call as an unstoppable play, which is the brotherly shove or the tush push, what have you. So running on 3rd and short has already been an established part of their identity pre-Saquon Barkley. That's what kind of got me a little crazy, is run the clock on 3rd. You already know you're running the tush push on 4th. Keep that clock moving. I don't kill the guy for calling that play, but I think ultimately Nick Sirianni is a far deeper issue than just that play call.
I want to carry that one step further. I think Kellen Moore is a far deeper issue too. He didn't do well in Dallas. When he go to the Chargers, I believe, there for 1 year. Everybody loves this guy. I think he's a deeper issue too. I do agree. I think they got some coaching issues and internal issues, which scares me. But I definitely think they're the right side this week.
Oh, let's keep Bomber here for the picks. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
Well, I just want to talk a little bit, if we can, about Dennis Allen, right?
Ooh.
Because I don't think people realize how bad Dennis Allen is when there's a minus next to his name. When he is a favorite, Dennis Allen, if you bet, and look, I know he wasn't always in New Orleans, but a lot of this carries over, right? If you were betting against the spread, if you were tailing Dennis Allen as a favorite against the spread since he started as a head coach, you would be down 16 units. He covers the spread 36% of the time. Look, the only trends, Bomber, I ever care about in any sport have to do with head coach in the NFL and quarterback, because they're the two most important players when it comes to just game planning and execution. They can lose games for you way more than anybody else. Dennis Allen is a proven money pit. I'm sorry. I don't care how bad the Eagles looked. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you on Dennis. I've never been a fan of his, and the organization ever since Peyton left, and I mentioned it before, the owner of the organization, Mr. Benson, passed away. I still think they're a mess. So how they played this well the first 2 weeks, I don't get it. But I'm definitely not a fan of Dennis Allen, and that's where I like the Eagles this week.
Is that one of your plays here? Eitan, is that one of your plays? Do you like the Eagles as well?
No, I wanted to lay that out there. If you can get them at 3, absolutely. I mean, I'll tail Bomber. That's Bomber's play. But if you can get the Eagles at 3, I think that's a must bet by all means. But no, let's go around. So we've got Bombers 2, and we go back and forth real quick.
We'll go back. I can go quick. We'll wrap up
and we'll get some laughs, and we'll see how bad Bomber thinks our picks are.
All right, I'll start with my side. I'm going to take the Bears. It was 1.5 when I saw it today at the Colts. You tell me if we're sitting 1 on FanDuel. This is a get-right spot here for Caleb Williams. They won a couple games here early. He has not looked good. This Colts defense stinks. They've given up 3 touchdowns, no picks, almost 400 yards passing. Also, 474 yards on the ground. That is the worst ever through 2 games through 1978. Bears defense is good, 7th in DVOA. I want to go against the Colts here. They can't play defense, and they're banged up, almost have the same type of injuries the Patriots have in this spot. I will gladly take the 1.5. Give me the Bears on the road as a dog. I'll be playing the 1.5. I'll probably stick with the 1.5 instead of the money line. So give me the Bears plus 1.5. It's more of a fate of the Colts and their terrible defense. Caleb Williams is due. Give me the Bears. He's due. He's good and good talent around. What are you guys laughing at me? He's due. He is due.
For what? What exactly is he due for?
Have a good offensive game. He's too talented. There's too much talent around him on that offense. It's a good spot for Keenan Allen. If you like player props this week.
Man, Bomber, I've never felt better. After watching him play specifically the first 2 weeks, I've never felt better about my under 8.5 wins for this team.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't like the due stuff, dude. I mean, that's like playing a jockey that's due. He's over 64, and you're telling me he's due, so I'm going to bet him in the Derby.
Yep.
All right?
Again, stop giving up my Saratoga plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking Mutt's language. I love it. I don't know if you know this.
Let's get a couple of those here. Jen's going to help us out here. Sorry, Eitan. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, no, good. All good. One, if you find this system, it's not even that, but if you find this in the NFL, it worked great last year when Antonio Pierce stepped in, Bomber. I love this. The game after a coach gets fired or a quarterback gets benched. Because, again, it seems to be only this sport, but I can bet that everybody in this Carolina Panthers locker room right now coming into this game, and we'll talk about this line in a second, but everybody on this Carolina Panthers team coming into this game wants to go out and do one thing, and that's prove to everybody out there that it wasn't me. If it's an offensive lineman, if it's a defensive, if it's a cornerback, if it's a coach, if it's Andy Dalton, everybody, it's no knock on Bryce Young, but it's just you had a stink of loss carry you. And I think now there is this, confidence that Andy Dalton can move the football, and we just need to go out there and show it wasn't me. And then my question is, what planet, what solar system would have the Las Vegas Raiders laying 7.5 on an opening line against any football team, especially coming after that huge win against the Ravens? I'm sorry. I'll take the Panthers even at 5.5.
I like that. I like the way the line moved down. I think, like Shaggy says, it wasn't me. They're going to prove it wasn't me. I like that. But the biggest thing for me is you're right. The Raiders are the Raiders, right? What did Dennis, who was the coach of the Air?
They are who we thought they were.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, kind of
It's
like the
all
Cowboys
good.
last week, right? They are who we thought they are or whatever. So I think the Raiders very easily could lay an egg here, and Carolina's the right side.
Again, it's a nice fade on the Raiders. That's too many points. I would agree. I'm going to get the ugliest total of the game, and I'm going to play the under. When I saw it today, it was 35.5 Chargers Steelers. I'll play it at minus 108 on FanDuel. This thing opened 39.5. It's beaten down 4 points now, 35.5. Two slow teams, two good defenses. The number 1 and number 6 defenses DVOA first 2 weeks in Pittsburgh and the Chargers. Some question about whether or not Herbert's going to play in this game. I suspect he will, but he is banged up. Both teams are running the football at north of 53% of the time when they're on offense. They want to kill the clock. Mike Tomlin wants to run it all day. Chargers and Jim Harbaugh, we know that's what they want to do. It is an ugly under. The value's been sucked out. I'm going to hold my nose, and I'm going to take it. Give me the under on a low 35.5 Chargers Steelers.
When's the last time you saw a total? This is like the old days,
This
right?
will be the lowest since 2006.
Especially for the Chargers. Now, I know Herbert's a little banged up, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's going to be. So I'm using that to my advantage.
This is like the Browns and the Steelers back in the heyday, right? And enter in a conference game, total 33,
Ugly one.
34.
Yeah.
Your second pick.
Second pick, it's a parlay. It's going to get us to minus. It's just a quick 2-leg parlay. It's going to get us to minus 135 here. I'm bringing the Bengals down to a point. I can't see that they start 0-3 in the season. We've seen a typical 0-2 start, and they just looked a little bit better, right, than the first week, especially Joe Burrow's health. They lose to a really good football team. They cover, but they lose to a good football team on the road in KC. Hosting Washington Monday night. Take whatever you want from that spread. I'm just busting them down to -1, and I'm combining that with Aaron Jones of the Minnesota Vikings with, it was 65.5 rushing yards. I think this has dipped rather significantly now in the 50s. So I'm still okay, 55.5, what have you, and that's minus 135. Houston's run defense shut down 2 running backs back-to-back. You see some crowded backfield activity now, especially since Aaron Jones isn't 100%. I don't think he's going to have the time as far as just carries and the availability on the field to get me over that number. So that's my quick little 2-leg minus 135 parlay.
All right, I'll give you Tyreek Hill over receiving yards. When I saw it earlier, it might be down on FanDuel. It's back and forth. I saw it 6.5. I want the over on Tyreek Hill in this spot. When Skylar Thompson started a playoff game against the Bills a couple of years ago, Tyreek Hill got 15 targets. They need a desperate boost of offense. They're going to feed him in this game. Seattle has faced 2 pedestrian offenses to start, the Patriots and the Broncos. They have not seen a player like Tyreek Hill. His total 6.5. You can get it over with one big play in this offensive game. I hate playing overs. I love playing unders, but I'm willing to play the over here. Tyreek Hill over 66.5 receiving yards played straight, played as part of same game parlays. He's going off against the Seahawks on Sunday.
All right, last one for me here, just a money line play, and you can see everybody's plays up here. Look at that beautiful graphic. I mean, you get what you pay
there
for.
You go.
Here, right?
Yes.
Absolutely love it. Just to trigger the crowd. I'm going to take the Vikings. It's a short money line here. There's no value for me in taking the points. I'm actually going to hone in the home team getting a couple of plus 125 on here. Brian Flores has been doing fantastic work. This is, again, a dog that's averaging 17 points per game or fewer, fits my week 3 system. I think you see how surprising they've been. And look, I'm not expecting Houston to hit some nosedive or tailspin, but I do think that when you come into a squad like this, where it's such a defensive battle for Minnesota, with Minnesota, it's going to be hard, really hard, unless C.J. Stroud has himself a monster game. I don't see that happening. Minnesota controls the clock, they control the ground, and ultimately they win the game at plus 125.
So a couple of quick things. One, why is my head so big on that last graphic?
Because your head's humongous. You have a huge
must
head.
be.
Yes.
And then the second
Because you're
thing
the
is,
star. You're the star.
So the second thing is I love how the great ones adjust. So you threw this up last minute. So props to you for great ones adjust.
Wait, I spent hours on this.
Oh, I thought you just did it. I gave you a prop. And then I've been wanting to say this for 2 weeks, and I forget every time. But remember the motto I said? What did I say? Good teams win, great teams cover.
You have a T-shirt like that. Why didn't you wear that?
I actually need to trademark that. When good teams win, great teams cover.
Would you take the 1.5 points though for Minnesota versus the plus 125?
No, I would play the plus 125.
Hey, Bomber, real quick. It's a quick question because I know we got to get out of here. What's more likely, in your opinion, to happen? Is it the Patriots winning at plus 220 outright, or is it the Jets covering a minus 13.5 alt spread?
What's more likely to happen?
Yep.
I'm not sold on the Patriots, so I'm almost going to say what's most likely to happen is the Jets minus 13.5.
I'm with Bomber on this. Hats off. I mean, again, I might be too close to the situation. I might be looking at this team, having to watch them every single week. They're not good offensively. They can't score points. I'm on the under. You're on the Jet side here in this spot. Side or total would be your pick if you had to make a play tonight.
Side. Definitely side.
You play the 6.5.
I would if you made me play, but no play for me, but that's who I'd be.
All right, so this place is, by the way, if you can see it here, I'll try to give people an opportunity here. This place is filling up. It's Thursday night. It's Jets. This place is getting banged out here tonight. How can people reserve their seats here for their NFL Sunday Bomb?
Go to mohegansun.com, click on the sportsbook link. It says reserve a seat. Get your seat there. Come hang out with us. If you've never been here, you're really missing out. Online doesn't do it justice. You need to see it in person. Once you do, you won't want to go anywhere else.
And Eitan, I want to give a grade to the Gronk's got his own special drink here, fancy drink with a light up cube in it.
Do you know what's in it? Triple sec.
It's a Gronk spiked lemonade. What's in the Gronk spiked lemonade, Sean? Can you see? Sean can't see. Sean's helping us out. I'm going to give it a 9.4. It's good, refreshing.
What's it missing? Why is it not a 10? You don't give out 10s?
Not
what are
enough
you,
Grey Goose. We can only pour so much, so he wants more Grey Goose. I've hung out with him before.
We've spent some time. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah. Actually, very fortunately for me. Bomber, this place is awesome. Thank you so much for having us out here. It's Mohegan Sun Sportsbook Live every Thursday, 6 to 7. Weekly prizes for bets. A grand prize, folks, of a table for 4, any NFL Sunday, including the Super Bowl, and a hotel stay. All you have to do is be here 6 or 7 on Thursday. Place a $10 bet, and you're in and qualified to be back here on the 7th, correct?
Absolutely. And we're throwing food and beverage with the table, too, as well. So you'll get to try one of these Gronk drinks if you're interested.
I hope they're still serving those. Appreciate everyone who watched on YouTube. Subscribe, like. What else, Eitan? What I missed, buddy?
That's it, man. Have fun tomorrow, as I can't wait to see the breakdown. Just tweet me or text me where the breakdown of your interview is with Gronk so I can watch it.
I'm about to get grilled about that. It's my feeling. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. Thank you, Mohegan Sun. Great staff here. Thank you guys for watching. Check us out on Twitter. We are back next Thursday. Sportsbook Live. Mohegan Sun. Let's go.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously, everyone. We're off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. High score, dance floor. Apps, crafts, and nightcaps? Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
This football season, take in every epic moment on the largest HD video wall in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun FanDuel Sportsbook.